pillar, ladies and gentlemen. Now moving to the third pillar, which is data analytics. What we do is drone-powered solution, integrating it with AI capabilities. So artificial intelligence, what we want to do is machine learning techniques or computer vision. Using aerial images, so in our case, we are in heavy industry, so what we do is we want to automate processes for operation and maintenance. For example, critical asset infrastructure, bridges, ports, highways. We want to automate the process to determine asset damages, whether it's rusts, leakages, surface cracks, any form of asset disrepair. We can enable the drones to be able to capture using the artificial intelligence algorithms. Of course, different industries have different problem statements. So you see in this example, it's for the oil and gas sector. So we send down the drones, so anything that the human eye can capture, our system can deliver the same level of accuracy and precision to determine the asset damages that are available or scattered throughout the client's asset. So in this particular example, it involves eliminating human risk factor. You see this is a swampy area, so crocodiles infest the area. So instead of having to send manual labor, we can easily automate process and send drones. So this is something that I just want, ladies and gentlemen, our dear viewers, to keep in mind that in the future, don't be surprised when such technology is going to be predominant in our everyday lives. For other applications, let's say more civilian context, is probably smart traffic monitoring. So imagine whatever can be captured using cameras can already be scaled using the multiple IR 4.0 technologies. So for smart city applications, let's say to determine how many cars are going in and out of the city, we can tap not only into drone technology, even the standard CCTV installation suffices. But once having captured the number of cars going in and out of the city, we can enable city councils to understand congestion periods for reroute optimization during rush hours. But of course, we can go even beyond that to determine, to zoom into the plate number, determine the age of the car, and actually get average computation of the CO2 output that is produced. So for smart city applications, this is quite interesting for us to know actually how much CO2 output has been produced, not just for civilian but also for industries. So of course, this is the similar example for car count. You notice the yellow line on the right. So any object, any vehicle that passes, notice the line on the top left in front of the screen will take into account, into consideration. But bear in mind, as I've mentioned, this is not just limited to one particular application. This is just limited to our creativity and how we want to have that scaled. For example, whether this one to be applied for river pollution monitoring, how much garbage waste disposal is being flowing down the river stream, or even for border and security to detect illegal entry or abnormalities, illegal smuggling, so on and so forth. So this can easily be scaled using the various technology platforms that I've mentioned. So other applications that we integrate, too many, as I've mentioned. As we speak, there are many new use case studies, R&D development in this particular application. So not necessarily limited to drones. If you see on the screen the top 3 videos, you notice this is for industry settings. Let's say for personal protective equipment. For modern industries, they would have to, in their SOPs, they would have to have site supervisors on site continuously to make sure that their vendors are compliant in terms of the security or I mean the safety equipments such as helmets, gloves, even boots, or even their harness hooks. So instead of having a site supervisor monitor compliance, we want to automate the process, tap into the live CCTV stream, and actually have our AI algorithms monitor compliance. So for example, when there is a detection of any form of breach, there will be an alert sent to our site supervisor's phone. So instead of him being on site, he can be at the office monitoring multiple sites to indicate, to tell him that there has something, a non-conformity issue has occurred. So let's think of this in our current context, which is what? COVID and the pandemic. So we can easily have that scaled to, let's say, to detect face masks, social distancing, etc., etc. So as I've mentioned, the technology application is unending to that respect, whether we want to apply it for commercial, civilian, or even heavy industries. The bottom video indicates or illustrates the many applications for industries, whether it's a detection for asset damage, for operation and maintenance, whether it's for oil and gas sector, construction, mining, or any other form of critical asset infrastructure in Malaysia and abroad. So other forms let's say to monitor against any form of illegal activity, smoking in oil and gas stations, or even having that scaled to public and private government buildings, airport, KLIA, Sunway, Pyramid, like shopping malls, just to have them manage or secure, have deep analytical systems integrated, automating the entire process.